December 1st, 1977 is Thursday. The president is Jimmy Carter. The number one song is You Light Up My Life by Debbie Boone. And the number one movie in the theaters is Oh God, starring George Burns. An average car will cost $4,300, and a gallon of gas will set you back just 63 cents. And at Algiers Naval Hospital in New Orleans, Louisiana, I'm coming into the world. Hello, I'm Christopher Guy. I was the first child of Catherine and John Guy Jr. Because my father was in the Navy, I and later my sister moved every 4 years. As a child, I lived in Memphis, Tennessee, Jacksonville, North Carolina, and Pax River, Maryland, just to name a few. My father retired from the Navy, and when I was in high school, we moved to his hometown of Anacoca, Louisiana. To be honest, I was a mediocre student, more concerned with goofing off than studying. So when my senior year came, it was no surprise that I was clueless about what I wanted to do, other than leave my small town. And so, 2 weeks into my last year of high school, I went to the Navy recruiter and enlisted in the delayed entry program. The rest of my senior year was a whirlwind. I met and fell in love with my future wife, Angela, and we began planning our life together. I graduated from school in May of 1996, and a few months later, got on a bus and left for boot camp. I went to basic training at Great Lakes, Illinois, and was later stationed at Dam Neck, Virginia, where I studied to be an operations specialist. I was later transferred to my ship, the USS Thomas S. Gates. While aboard my ship, I deployed several times. I lost count of the different countries that I was able to go to, but I know it was well over 30. But the Navy life is hard on a family, and I was gone to sea more than I was at home. After 4 short years, I left the Navy. I wanted my children, 4 at that point, to have a life I never had. I wanted my children to grow up in the same town without the stress of moving every 4 years. So in August of 2000, I moved my family back to the small town of Anacoca. The plan at the time was to get a degree in education, but the demands of a household left me with little choice but to go back to work. It was around that time that I got hired at Leesville Police Department as a police officer. I would spend the next nearly 14 years raising my family and working as a police officer. In 2005, my wife and I finished our family with the arrival of twin girls. That's 6 if you're counting. In my time as a police officer, I've done just about everything there is to do. Patrol, investigations, SWAT, and even underwater search and recovery. I've delivered a baby in a living room, worked 2 major hurricanes, Katrina and Rita, and had to pick up pieces of the space shuttle Columbia after it exploded. I've been shot at and beat up and talked 2 people out of killing themselves, and held a dying woman's hand on the side of the road as she drew her last breath. I have seen the good, the bad, the funny, and the sad that my community has to offer. But after so many years working 12-hour shifts, usually at night, I decided it was time for a change. Last fall, I decided to leave law enforcement, at least in the full-time aspect. I'd always liked helping people, which was the reason why I loved being a police officer. So I enrolled back in school and majored in nursing. In my years, I've been everything from a high school slacker, husband and father, and sailor to a police officer, and now I'm going to be a nurse. It just goes to show you that no matter how old you get, it's never too late to change what you want to do.